In 1957, Peter Hallas took a boat from Europe into Sydney's warm embrace.
First morning I came outside on the harbour bridge and the harbour. It was about 22, 23 degrees, middle of June, and I thought, if this is winter in Australia, I'm in heaven.
The 17-year-old had arrived laden with the $90 he earned scrubbing the ship en route. And the anticipation of a new start in this impossibly beautiful city. He'd escaped much more than the European weather. He grew up in Budapest.
You had to wear a yellow star if you went out on the street, and Jews weren't allowed on the street after 4 in the afternoon.
When he was 5 years old, his mother was murdered by Hungarian Nazis. His dad taken to a concentration camp.
My father, after the war, after what happened to us because we were Jews, he didn't want to identify with religion whatsoever.
But in Sydney, you could be yourself. Peter met his wife, Yvonne, on the promenade steps at Bondi.
A lot of our friends around Bondi Beach in those days, around the steps, were Jewish. In fact, we called the steps the Jerusalem steps. Yeah, I learned to be Jewish in Australia, not in Hungary.
As well as starting a family, Peter and Yvonne founded a swimwear label that became a global success, Sea Folly. In Australia, being Jewish hardly mattered. Until October 2023. On October 9, the New South Wales government lit up the Opera House in solidarity with Israel, which 2 days earlier had lost 1,200 of its citizens, murdered in their homes and at a music festival. Survivors dragged back into Gaza as hostages. Beneath the sails, before the war in Gaza, there was no empathy.
The perpetrators were the heroes, according to the demonstrators, and the victims were the bad people. I mean, it just does not make sense. Even today, I can't figure it.
The Royal Commission, sparked by the Bondi Beach massacre, is exploring the explosion in antisemitism in Australia that's mirrored the war in Gaza.
Today, and over the next 2 weeks, the focus will be on my first term of reference, which requires investigation of the nature and prevalence of anti-Semitism in institutions and society.
In the Commission's first public hearings this week, witnesses told of being targeted simply because they're Jewish.
Some guy just came up to me and just said, "You dirty pig Jew," right to my face, this close, and spat in my face.
Pass me in a corridor and just sort of say, "Oh, shame on you," or "You must be really ashamed to belong to a group of child killers."
One of the witnesses, Anthony Hallas, Peter's son.
So I'm here because if I can do anything to help the Commission understand where this country has gone to for Jewish Australians and what needs to happen.
The Royal Commission witnesses have detailed the milestones to the December 14 massacre at Bondi Beach. The vandalism, intimidation, threats.
You have no idea how many Israeli Chara dog came to this hospital
and extreme language.
Well, it's just madness. I mean, the intifadas were suicide bombings and killing people, and that's what intifada was. That's the physical manifestation of intifada. What does globalised intifada mean? It means chaos. I mean, it's madness.
The chant is offensive to many who say it calls for the end of Israel.
When you hear The slogans that some of the demonstrations are shouting from the river to the sea, globalize the Intifada and such, means that they want to obliterate Israel. And not just Israel, they want to obliterate all Jews if they had a chance. It almost feels like that Hitler is back. It just brings back times that when I was a 5-year-old boy and we were being hounded.
Australia's given Peter Hallas so much, but after Bondi and all that led to it, he wonders whether Hungary might now be safer for his family.
I don't want to leave. I really don't. I don't want my children to leave. I think it's a wonderful place and it's a wonderful country. But, life is more important than anything else, and if we ever become afraid for our lives, then we will.
It seems an impossible distance to the simplicity of 1957.
I said, don't I have to have some ID papers to carry with me in case the police stops me? And they looked at me like I was crazy. Why would the police stop you?
For migrants like Peter Hallas, it's symbolised by the journey to Bondi, the weekend crowds alighting from the trams. A short walk to the beach via a footbridge that is now laden with the terrible weight of recent history.
To see Jewish people as just another bunch of Australians. That's who we are. We're no different to you or to you or to you. We have the same ambitions. We just want our families to be safe and well. That's what for us Australia is about, is the freedom to move around.